With that detour into the theories about the four kingdoms over, we should now have a picture of the kind of circumstances into which the Antichrist will come to power. Let's turn back to Revelation now, where John gives us some more details. I saw that one of the heads of the beast seemed wounded beyond recovery, but the fatal wound was healed. The whole world marveled at this miracle and gave allegiance to the beast. They worshipped the dragon for giving the beast such power, and they also worshipped the beast. Who is as great as the beast? They exclaimed. Who is able to fight against him? The Antichrist will mimic Jesus by appearing to suffer a fatal wound and then being healed. This trick resurrection is going to cause the world to marvel at his apparent supernatural powers of recovery. They will pledge allegiance to him and by proxy pledge allegiance to Satan, the one empowering him. This event will add to the Antichrist's air of invincibility, and the whole world will exclaim, "Who is able to fight against him?" Remember, the Assyrian held a similarly high view of himself, boasting, "No one can even flap a wing against me or utter a peep of protest." So when the whole world unites under him, even the nations who don't particularly like him will have no strength to fight against him. His position will be unassailable. Then the beast was allowed to speak great blasphemies against God, and he was given authority to do whatever he wanted for 42 months. And he spoke terrible words of blasphemy against God, slandering his name and his dwelling, that is, those who dwell in heaven. And the beast was allowed to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them, and he was given authority to rule over every tribe and people and language and nation. And all the people who belong to this world worship the beast. They are the ones whose names were not written in the book of life before the world was made, the book that belongs to the Lamb who was slaughtered. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. Anyone who is destined for prison will be taken to prison. Anyone who is destined to die by the sword will die by the sword. This means that God's holy people must endure persecution patiently and remain faithful. Here we are told again that the Antichrist will be given authority to do whatever he wanted for 42 months. Unfortunately, whatever he wants will be to crush Jerusalem and anyone who turns to God. It's Jacob's trouble again. This is all centered around Jacob's trouble. This passage also confirms that his dominion will be worldwide. He will rule over every tribe and people and language and nation. It will truly be a global empire. Remember what happened when Jesus was being tempted in the wilderness. Next, the devil took Jesus to the peak of a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. "I will give it all to you," he said, "if you will kneel down and worship me." Jesus, the Christ, turned Satan down, but this man, the Antichrist, will not. He will become the ruler of all the kingdoms of the world. He's basically driven by selfish ambition, a trait which can be seen in many of our political leaders today, and he has a special hatred for God's most precious possession, Jerusalem. During this time, the Antichrist will blaspheme God and even set himself up as God. I find it interesting that he will also speak against all those who dwell in heaven too. Clearly Satan is still sore about his recent defeat at their hands, and with his pride bruised, is slandering his conquerors at every opportunity.